I'm not so sure about my luck sometimes, but I'm here for my first day in LA on a March trip. Here to go to Knott's Berry Farm for the first time. What is it about my luck? Well, it's raining in LA, and it's going to be raining all day tomorrow and Wednesday, so that's kind of crazy. And I'm wearing a winter jacket and a sweatshirt. What kind of Canadian is that in LA, right? All right, well, that's besides the point. I'm at Knott's Berry Farm. I have dreamed about coming to this park for the better part of over 30 years. I'm not even going to mention anything more than that. We're probably getting on to 40 years now since I first heard about this place and wanted to visit. So yeah, it's a very exciting day. We're going to get on Ghostrider, we're going to get on Silver Bullet, we're going to get on a lot of legendary rides in this park. Check out the refurbishment or the revamp of Montezuma's Revenge, which unfortunately we didn't get to in time, but we have things to look forward to next time. Hopefully that will include Accelerator and some of the other rides, including the famous log flume that's not unfortunately running today, but it is clearly posted at the main gate before you get inside. There's still rides like that to ride though, however. A legendary invert from B&M and many others in this park that was established before Disneyland just down the road and kind of set the precedent for how that theme park was going to be set up, as the original Mr. Knott was a fan, or not a fan, but a friend of Disney himself. So very exciting. There's barely anyone here because of the weather. Let's get inside Knott's Berry Farm. Inaugural visit here at First Drop. Hello again. It's been several hours since I saw you lasses. I've learned a lot from vlogging now, and when you come to a park that you've never been to before, you gotta prioritize what you need to before you start shooting. What that means is that I've basically done every credit in the park already just to get them done, including Jaguar that's coasting behind me here. That was a good, decent coaster. Larger layout than I was anticipating, quite a substantial layout, and a great themed Aztec station building behind me too, which also kind of makes up the Montezuma's theming in this area. More about Montezuma's behind me later on in the vlog. But as far as this park is concerned, I'm already blown away. So this vlog will kind of be a piecemeal of all the footage that I've covered as we go through all the attractions again, and I try to review them all for you, or at least my impressions of them, including Ghostrider, which was the first thing that I rode today. So let's carry on. There's a lot to cover here at Knott's. Let's get on it.
usage. The locomotives and railway cars you're relaxing in are over 100 years old. They used to carry passengers to and from Denver and the Rio Grande. In these railroad cars can talk, they tell tales of the gold rush cowboys and sell their streets of fortunes and the pioneer spirit of the West. Dr. Knott was on hand for the dedication of this railroad, and his traditions have been maintained every day since. Have a great journey, and we will all see you at the station.
Alright folks, let's keep those hands up in the air. Here's a hold up. We're looking for gold, silver, preferably cash. It makes things easiest. Right?
Citizens arrest.
Citizens arrest?
That's what they suggested.
Who?
The people at the front.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You gotta listen to them. They're Knott's employees. They're stupid.
Well, they're not here, so.
Oh. Well, the only way a citizen's arrest is gonna work is if you got a gun, handcuffs, or a badge. Those two are Alright, what about over here? Y'all got any money? We got one. Leave that, okay. You put your hands up. The rest of y'all, though, it's nice. Where's your money? No, I want real coin. I don't want big coin.
No, wait a minute. So you're over here all by yourself. You got any money?
I don't, unfortunately.
Well, then maybe that's why you're by yourself.
That's why I only could afford one ticket.
I can't blame you. At least you got it.
It's true.
Okay, well, next time you afford a little bit of tip money, too.
Absolutely.
Good.
I don't need that many apples. Yeah. Oh, for money. Like, whole or cash.
Hey, apple a day keeps the sheriff away. I know that much. I don't know anything else. Wait a minute. Are you trying to get evidence against me?
I will admit I didn't really know what to expect about Knott, given the notoriety that it has, and having just got off of the Calico train here, an authentic over 100-year-old steam train, which I've never been on before. I'm getting it now. This has got to be one of the best parks in the world. It's definitely living up to my expectations. I'm loving every minute of it. Yes, maybe the thrills are not quite as crazy as, say, some of the other Cedar Fair parks, but this is the complete package and true Americana and everything that you would ever want from a theme park. And also, it's not that busy. It's got great operations. The staff are very enthusiastic. This is the place. Let's carry on.
And they're bringing out the pies, and they're such pretty pies, pretty pies, very nice, pretty pies. Now it's getting real now, y'all. It's getting real, all right? So, your hands are behind your back, so no hands are involved. No hands. Yeah, if you want to kneel, you're more than welcome to kneel. I've seen a variety of on your mark. Get set. The anticipation is just killing me, isn't it? Are you all hungry? Oh my gosh, here we go. Okay, on your mark. Get set. Go!
This here is old Cat Mahoney, and I'm delighted to take you into the famous Calico Mine, the richest gold strike this side of the Mississippi.
You want to stay good playing here?
Well, look at this, folks. These bubbling, boiling pots sure may look pretty, but seen Slim, it's time to struck him some gold. Drinks on you, Slim. Here you get a view of all the different kinds of mining operations we have going on. It's a lot of backbreaking work. Now that's what I call teamwork. They don't call a man's best friend for nothing, especially when there's gold at stake. That's all it takes to ride across along this here crystal bridge. Your hands and arms can drive the cars now. Keep falling off this mountain since 1888. Oh, never mind that. Looks like we've got one more train.
Alrighty, folks, going through this train has come through.
Just finished up Calico Mine Co. That ride is almost 80 years old as far as I understand, and that was phenomenal. That might be one of the best dark rides in the world still, and one of the first. And what a unique, I'm gonna just say it, if you love trains, you have to come to this park, because there's just like 4, I believe, mine train or train related attractions alone, all of which have been excellent so far, although I've only done 2. But yeah, don't sleep on that. Calico Mine Co, you got a full POV as well, as thankfully the park does allow that. And it was well worth it. All right, let's carry on.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. On behalf of Knott's Berry Farm and the entire crew, welcome aboard the Sky Cabin. We will be cruising at an altitude of 108 feet for a panoramic view of North Canada. Please remain seated until we reach our cruising altitude. Once there, we remind you that this is a non-smoking flight, so smoking is prohibited. Please prepare for tape departure. We begin our ascent today on an Orange County railroad that has been flying guests over Knott's Berry Farm since 1976. The Sky Cabin, which you are currently riding, was originally built in Switzerland. Transported in several sections through the Panama Canal to Knott's Berry Farm. He soars takes riders up a 15-story lift hill and suspends them at the top before descending down a 96-degree drop. Standout to ride when it opened in 1969 and remains to this day one of our most popular attractions.
Fine, just hold on to the handle.
I've been standing up this whole time, my guy.
And around Reflection Lake.
It's been a while since I've been on one of these towers. It is a bit of a claustrophobic experience because you're trapped in here. A lot of people on it, a lot of shows. You know what I mean? Anyhow, you can kind of keep track of what's going on with the park here. There's a lot of crazy things that aren't actually... As we're all standing at the top of this tower, some people just decided to bounce up and down. So that's what you're dealing with. A bit of mischief up here in the tower. Might be able to catch HangTime on its drop here. Oh, we're going back down. Absolutely brilliant. That is actually the log flume which they just told us opened in 1969. I am desperate to get on it. I'm very gutted. Unfortunately, it is not open today. I am going to segue later on in the vlog about a couple of the... This park is tremendous. Don't get me wrong. I love it. But unfortunately, there's a lot of attractions that aren't open. The biggest one of all that we all know here, Accelerator, and also Montezuma's Revenge in its new form is not available. It looks nowhere near to being complete, so we'll definitely check and get a look at that later on. Are you going to go on it?
Wait, hold on, we're getting out.
As many know, this chief attraction here at Knott's, and one of the most famous ones, has not been open for some time, even though it's got a brand new spanking paint job. Well, maybe a couple of years old now. But Accelerator, a legendary Intamin hydraulic launch coaster. Now it's curious to see what's going to happen with the future of this ride, if they had actually planned to refurbish it before the situation with Top Thrill Dragster and the relationship of Cedar Fair with Intamin, which seems to be a bit tenuous at the point, or at the current moment, because of the situation with Top Thrill Dragster and its official announcement that it looks like Zamperla, as of this date, March of 2023, will be taking over that ride and revamping it into something else. It makes me curious about what's going on with Montezuma's Revenge as well, because if that's the case, maybe Zamperla is looking at that ride. We'll look at it a little bit later because it doesn't look anywhere near to being reopened, despite seeing all the concept work that we saw a fair time ago now. So, as mentioned, unfortunately, Accelerator, a chief attraction, not available, and also Montezuma's. So if you're coming here for coasters, you might be a little underwhelmed, but when it comes to theming, the park is second to none. So I would say you still have plenty to do regardless. I've also done almost everything in the park now. I have one other credit to get on. Unfortunately, Sierra Signwider, again, another attraction not open today, so that's quite unfortunate, but it hasn't taken away from my day at all. I'm having a fantastic time here at Knott's. It really is challenging, despite the fact that, as I said earlier, these other parks in the Cedar Fair chain have a lot bigger thrill coasters. This particular park, I don't know, it might end up being one of my favorites, if not my favorites in the chain. Stay tuned for the end of the vlog, when I'll probably sum that up. We'll see. All right, let's carry on. here on sort of like a rock enclosure overlooking the kids area and Planet Snoopy that I'm on. You can get a good view of Montezuma's Revenge behind me. And unfortunately, all this tarp work that we see, it doesn't mean, it's not really reassuring. I don't see any construction equipment around. There's no new pieces of fabricated metal or anything like that to indicate that something is actually coming to bring this ride to its new incarnation. It seems like it's kind of in stasis at this point, like it's at a standstill. There's nothing going on. Considering it's late March, we all know it had closed only 2 years ago or just around the pandemic, and then has not reopened since. There's a lot in this park that I would say if the new proposed coaster for 2024 comes to fruition at this park, which is still also up in the air as far as plans are concerned, I believe we could have a whole different park in 2024 at Knott's Berry Farm, if indeed this ride does reopen. Because then it will bring it back up to a higher ranking as far as coaster enthusiasts are concerned. But it is worrisome to see this ride just sitting here dormant now, as if they might be changing their plans for it initially. There's no new train, there's no indication that anything's coming. Someone wiser than myself may know, but unfortunately, I do not. Also in the distance is Jaguar, which I did ride earlier, and I'll give my review in a bit. Seat ride on Sierra Sidewinder. Just finished a front seat ride on Silver Bullet. A back seat ride earlier. Just finished a front seat ride on Silver Bullet with my inaugural journey being on the back seat. Gotta say, that's gotta be a top 5 invert. That was unbelievable. I love this ride. I knew that it was actually highly regarded among B&M inverts, but I didn't know how good it actually is. Yes, it's not the longest. It doesn't have the craziest G-forces, say on that drop or anything like that, or at least speed-wise with what you get associated with the Raptor maybe. I think this one's a little lighter in intensity than that, and obviously not as long. But those 2 inline twists, the corkscrew, and probably my favorite element of them all is that diving turn right after the loop. That was fantastic. This entire park, very friendly people, friendly staff. Zero harassment during the vlogging too, which is always a bonus. So yeah, it's been a great day so far. Silver Bullet really lived up to expectations. Loving this park. If you've known my vlogs for some time, you know that I love the Laurent Saloon. There's nothing special about it. The Silver Garter just happened to originate from way back in the period when the park opened, and this saloon here also clearly dates from when the park opened, or at least pretty close to its original theme park days when it got a little bit more aggressive with theming and everything like that. And I also have a boysenberry Hefeweizen. As you've noticed, it is the Boysenberry Festival here at Knott's Berry Farm, so you'll see berries and stuff littered all over the park. It almost tastes like bubblegum. 5.5% though, so I'm sure it'll catch up after a while. The detailing on the floor, I'm loving every minute of this saloon. I can't get at it because, as you can see, it looks like wood. It's actually concrete, and it's just been formed to have that impression of wood. The detailing, yeah, this park, it's got it down. is HangTime. What a remarkable Ghost. Probably in my top 5, I'm gonna admit. This is a great interactive ride. I don't know if it's just because of where we are, but that second ride and the just the enthusiasm of everybody on the train, it seems like it's a bit interactive with everyone. It's like you're kind of encouraging each other to put your hands in the air and enjoy those elements, and those hanging elements are fantastic. This is gonna definitely be, as I already said, probably one of my top 5. Definitely one of my top 5. I will make affirmation of that right now. Ghostrider out there. It reminds me of Fury at Bobbyland, just in the sense that it's so tightly compact, and the layout sort of reminds me somewhat of that, even though this isn't a launch coaster like Fury is, and it also doesn't have that frontwards backwards element, so they're completely different rides. But as far as the layout is concerned, definitely reminiscent. It's not as gargantuan as Fury is as well. That ride is fairly significant as far as height is concerned, and this one, even though it is 150 feet high, it doesn't feel like that, because I think that the elements in it actually, you know, they're within 100 to 110 feet at most from the first one. That doesn't really matter. It's a fantastic ride, really fast, short, sweet, not too short, just enough. Ghosts have had a lot of bad reputation over the years. This one, I think, is its saving grace, because it's smooth, it's not janky, it packs a great punch. Is this the best ride at Knott's? I'm on the fence, because I think it might be. I know that's controversial to say with Ghostrider being here, but I'll give that another go later on, and also this another go later on in its light package, which I'm looking forward to seeing as well. Ghostrider. It finally reopened, I got on it. It's a clone of Fly at my home park. So at the end of the day, I didn't really expect much from it. It's janky. I don't like wild mouses that much, at least modern wild mouses. Fortunately, I did get to sit on my own in the car, which is always a bonus when you're sitting with strangers and you're banging into each other, so that's definitely a bonus, but definitely not one of my favorite rides in the park by any stretch of the imagination. But a credit is a credit. It was all right, and that's all I got to say about it. We got to move on. Continuous with the great theming in this park. The theming for Ghostrider and the station leading in is second to none. Now in the queue, it's around 6:30, and they actually got 2 trains on the track now, so they're burning through the queue very fast. Probably in anticipation of people wanting to get night rides on this, which is going to be very tight because it's going to be around 7:30. It's the last half hour, so about an hour from now it'll probably be dark enough to enjoy that. But that's a bonus because I'll get to enjoy that, period. Because yeah, in the summertime it's a little bit tighter, I think, to get those rides in the busier season and with a later sundown. So I'm gonna do one more ride here. Will be my 3rd ride, and then I'll give you a review afterwards of this legendary CCI/GCI creation that the park is probably the most known for, Ghostrider. Just like that, we are out of the park. It's 7 o'clock. Look at this fire pit. That's kind of cool. I will say I'm in LA and I'm wearing my winter jacket. Well, I'm in Anaheim, but you know, fire pits are cool, and that's a big one. It's massive. Anyway, to the point, just got 2 rides in a row on Ghostrider, spent the last hour getting those in. It's definitely warmed up over the day and is sped up as well, which is excellent. However, I still am on the fence about whether or not this is the best ride here. And the reason why we're out here right now is I want to get a little coverage of it for you, because you can't see the ride essentially inside the park. Impressions, it's an excellent ride. Probably one of the better CCIs out there, but it isn't Legend. It's just not Legend. And when it comes to those modern GCIs, yeah, it just isn't got the punch of something like Woden or Mystic Timbers or all those modern rides that are modern wood coasters that really pack a really intense punch. For the time, this is a 25-year-old ride now, so it's definitely one of the best wood coasters. It's going to be one of my top 10s. What did I enjoy about the best? Probably the second half was my favorite. Especially that double helix, that at the first trip through the course, it actually surprised me because I had forgot that it had that element at the end. It just keeps going. I think I could have dealt with a little bit more speed. It wasn't heavily trimmed or anything like that, but it was certainly, when you're spoiled and you have those other rides that you've been on, yeah, you definitely compare it to others, but for an double out and back, much like, say, Silver Comet from where I'm from, yeah, it destroys that ride without question. And that's also another CCI. I'm speaking of Silver Comet at Niagara Amusement Park. Credits still to do, and this ride to do for a night ride at the very end of my night, and also hang time. So we're now going to hustle back into the park, and get some more rides in. Okay, we're back in the park, so as per every vlog, it's gonna be a whirlwind. I'm gonna try to get the junior credit first. I'm gonna go maybe get Silver Bullet. I'm gonna go all the way back to get HangTime. I also wanted to do the raft ride, but I don't think that's a wise move at this time of night. It's probably not even open anyway. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a loop. I'm gonna go to this junior credit, get denied, come back, do Silver Bullet, go over to HangTime, and then back to Ghostrider. Because this park is not that big, I will say that unlike other places like the Alton vlog from 6 months ago, if you want to get all these things in an hour, I think it's feasible if it's a slower day. Whereas at that park, it was just virtually impossible because everything's so tightly packed in together and there's convenient paths to get to everything. I've already kind of mastered the park. The park has lit up. Easter illuminations are a new thing to me, mainly because most parks are not open at that time of year. It's almost got a Easter haunt feel to it, to be honest. I do know if I do this shortcut that I will actually get to the ride easier, so here we go. Oh, that looks brilliant, doesn't it? Across the bridge, through the tunnel. This is pretty wild, to be honest. I'm impressed. The ride is closed, so it's not even gonna matter. Didn't get here in time. It's actually an older coaster too. By manufacturer, I'm not even, it looks like an old Intamin. Besides the point, not available, so we gotta hustle on. I'd heard something about the night lighting setup in this park before being brilliant, and I now know what they were talking about. It's only Easter. It's not even yet. But what a colorful and brilliant setup they got going on here. So the Fiesta Village, the area that we're walking through now, is still under construction. And you can see from Jaguar and many other vantage points that it's not quite ready. In fact, it's, I'd say, quite a ways from being ready. There's still a lot of foundations, there's still a skeletal structure of this new area here. Okay, we weasel our way here through. This little point is always difficult if a train's coming through because you can kind of get hung up or held up, which the train is still going on. But fortunately, we are through this time. We're gonna miss our chance to go on Supreme Scream. We gotta prioritize things. I was on one of these yesterday only on top of the Stratosphere Tower, so definitely check out that vlog if you're interested. It was quite a ride. All right, let's get on HangTime. Let's do a semi-night ride in this brilliant light setup. I'll give you a couple shots, then we'll go on to the Pony Express, and then end our night. Credit, at least available today. It should be a walk-on. I have been on one of these before. Pony Express, the ride.
This is my kind of ride.
last, I think, train on Knight Rider. Yeah, it's now going around the track, and I just had my final ride on it. One little tip, blast those trains, because if I hadn't had the train actually cut off the route to Silver Bullet, I would have been able to get there first and then got on Ghostrider. But unfortunately, I had to come around the other way, and priorities be what they are. You can't miss that night ride on Ghostrider. That was incredible. What can be said about that ride at night? Unreal. I didn't even know that they have running lights for the entire track at night, so that just gives it a whole different element. And yes, at night, I will say that is the best ride at this park. Okay, we've left the park, and I'm doing my best to try to find a spot without the background music. There's a lot of it here at the park, but it's also refreshingly good. There's covers, a lot of country, obviously, and a lot of like old down-homey, classic Americana as a soundtrack. This is a fantastic park. I am blown away. I think I was already breathless like a couple minutes of coming into here. Just the theming alone, it's just outstanding. It's not the hugest place in the world. It's not got the biggest thrills in the world. Although, as I kind of alluded to earlier, if this park by 2024 has 3 major coasters back up in operation, 2 that are currently here, 1 that's being rejuvenated, and then possibly that 2024 ride as well that was proposed, then it could be something else here at Knott's Berry Farm in a couple of years, as far as it taking it to the next level of being one of the best parks in the world, if not just in America, because it's definitely in the top 10 of my parks in America. I never finished my Knight Rider review because the camera cut off for a second there, but what an incredible ride. Not my favorite wood coaster at night by far, unfortunately. I'd say every coaster at Holiday World night rides beat out Ghostrider, but at the same time, that's not a fair comparison. Those are terrain coasters and completely different ideas, even though Raven and Legend are by the same original company that constructed Ghostrider. But those running lights, the whole sensation of yeah, it just goes on forever. It's really, that ride was built for night, and it really took it to a next level. It warmed up, it was super fast. Interactivity and your interactions with the other guests were great. Each ejector airtime hill was really throwing you out of your seat because the train really picked up speed through the day. Loved it. Loved it. It was fantastic. What a great ride to end my day. Unfortunately, didn't get on Silver Bullet, but I will probably be doing that in the future because I will not wait a half a lifetime to come back to this park. No chance of that. I might even try to see about Knott's Scary Farm in 6 months' time. I've had that good of a time here. And who knows, the new section may be opened up in the park as well by then too, and Montezuma's Revenge may finally be here for its revenge again. But outside of that, guys, what an incredible day. I was only here for a little over 7 hours, but got everything in that I wanted to. So if I was going to change anything about this park, I would say it's probably the flat ride offering. There's not that many here now, and especially because of, say, like the Scrambler being torn down in the boardwalk area. Also the top spin not currently operational because it's in the new section. It used to be in an old section, but they're bringing it back. So there's a little bit of work to be done, and clearly the park is in a major transition, as it looks like all throughout, other than the Ghost Town area. There's major renovations and sort of I'd say they're taking another look at how to outlay this park in the future, and they definitely clearly have plans for that coming soon. Alright guys, that was Knott's Berry Farm. What a great park, what a great day. Can't wait to come back. Some great coasters. I'd say, you know, if it was just the daytime rides, then I would probably have put Ghostrider towards the end of the top 3, kind of tie between 2 and 3 with Silver Bullet, but HangTime at night, that was also a sensational ride, except it was just too short for it to beat Ghostrider, because really that thing packs so much of a punch. Who knows, Silver Bullet might have been better, but that's for another visit. All right, guys, gonna wrap it up. I gotta get back to my hotel. I'm a little bit winded today. I didn't have quite as much sleep as I normally do because I flew into LA today. But tomorrow is a full day at Disneyland for the first time ever. So definitely check out that vlog because that will be coming up right after this one. All right, guys, that's a wrap.